Okay. So be able to calculate the area and perimeter of a square. So what we were talking about before. If you have a random shape, you just draw a random shape like this, right? If I want to know the area of that shape, like your hand, you told me that to do it you need to figure out how many squares are in it, alright? And even the ones that are not whole squares you can estimate by putting them together, can't you?
Yeah.
Right. We also looked at the fact that the units of area, well, it depends how big you choose your square to be, isn't it? So if I have millimeters squared, the squares that I am counting in here would be
1 millimeter.
tiny. So I've got a lot of squares to count. There'd be loads of them, right? But I could have the same shape, and if I said, well, let's count in square centimeters instead. So instead of having a tiny little millimeter square, I would have a centimeter square. And then the area would not change of this shape. It doesn't become bigger, but there will be less centimeter squares fit in it, won't there? You understand that?
Yeah.
So to get a much more accurate answer for the area of this, which unit would you choose?
Centimeter.
Okay, you said so. Why do you think millimeters? Why would that be a better estimate using millimeter squares?
Because, like, if you're using millimeters, then you can really, like, because it's very small, you can really get into millimeters. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Imagine like this area here, where you've got the little bit extras. How easy is it to fit little millimeter squares in and build it up? Yeah, it'd be take you ages to do. I'm not asking which one's easier, I'm asking which one's more accurate. Okay, so the smaller unit of area is much more accurate, and that's what we would consider. Alright? However, like we said, sometimes it's not appropriate. So I wouldn't measure the floor of this classroom in square millimeters, would I? You'd be there forever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do it in square centimeters because you'd be there forever. We'd do it in square meters, right? And that would be, I'm not even going to draw it on here. Would it be appropriate for me to measure this area of this shape in square meters?
No.
No, because you'd just get one big square that would cover the whole thing, and you'd have to try and figure out how much too big it was. So it's just not appropriate. So for this shape, which one would you choose? Millimeters or centimeters square? Square millimeters or square centimeters?
Millimeters. It's much easier. Centimeters.
Yeah, go on. Explain.
Centimeters is because it's much easier to make a bigger square than make a smaller square.
Okay, so which one would give you the better answer? Millimeters. Which one is, in your situation, probably the best one to do at the moment? Centimeters, because it would be quicker to count and then just have an estimate. Right, so remember, it's all about estimates. Now, all of this area malarkey is dealing with squares. So actually, a square is an easy shape to work the area out, no? Alright? And that's the deal. So that's what we've got. Calculate the area and perimeter of a square. So, imagine each one of my little squares is 1 centimetre square. Alright? So I've got a square that's 1 centimetre. You can write this down afterwards. What's the area of that square?
1 centimetre.
Okay. So 1 centimetre square. Because it's right. The next square that I can draw is this square.
4 centimetre square.
Okay, so that would be 4 centimetres. Now, what are the dimensions of that square, though?
1 centimetre.
So it's 4 lots of 1 centimetre, but what are the lengths of the sides? So it's 2 centimetres. 2 centimetres.
Times.
Okay. Yeah, so another one. The next square we're looking at is 3 by 3.
9.
So 3 centimetres, 3 centimetres. But the area is 9 centimetre squares because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Also 3 times 3.
Okay, exactly. So the area of a square is just one side times, because if you think about it, if I break that up, I have 2 times 2 squares. 2 lots of 2 squares. Make sense?
Yep.
So the area is 2 lots of 2. In this one, it's 3 lots of 3. Okay. If I had a square that was this big,
Whoa.
it's,
No.
5, 5. Okay. I need to go down, down. Is that right? Is that a square? Can you see it?
Yeah.
From an angle from here, it doesn't look right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 centimetres.
And 8
So I've got 8 lots of 8 squares. You understand? So I've got 1 square, 1 square, 1 square, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Right? Each row has 8 squares, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows
8
of
times
8 squares.
64 squares.
So it's
64.
8 times 8 makes
64.
64 square centimetres. Okay? Works the same if I have square metres or square millimetres. Now, the tough question where it starts getting a bit more tricky is if it's 9 centimetres squared, do you know how many square millimetres that would be? What do you reckon, Magnus?
I guess it would be. So you would have to divide by 10 because 10 millimeters is
Is that divided?
Times 10. Times 10.
Oh.
Because there's more millimetres, isn't there?
Yeah, times.
1 centimetre is
10 millimeters.
times, okay. Go on.
Times. So times.
640.
Oh no, go on. Not there.
I know. The brain's not working.
Right, I'm not. Go on, Taylor, you have a go.
I think there's probably 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter
Yeah.
square. So you do it times 10, so 90 millimeters.
You think it's 90?
Yeah.
Right. Go on, what do you reckon, Dylan?
I'm gonna say that each square has 4 millimeters in it.
Why 4?
Because that's.
Because
Because.
Go on.
it's like 4 isn't even number and you can like split it.
Now, how many millimetres
It's
is in
actually
1
true.
centimetre?
Yikes.
No. I tell you what, it is a tricky thing, and we'll come back to it. I will come back to this, but this is a big question, actually, that a lot of, as you get older, you will still find tricky. A lot of my year 11s still get these things wrong, okay? But I'll explain it to you in a bit. But first of all, our first objective is, can we work out the area of a square? Alright, so we've done it in centimetres squared. Now, if you wanted to do it in millimetres squared, you just have to do how many square millimetres are in it, yeah? So if I had another square, and now I'm gonna add this word in, or these 3 words that you know. Not to scale means ignore the size and read the labels. So if I were to say, here's a square, and it's, well, 5 millimetres, what's the other side?
5.
5 millimeters.
5 millimetres, okay?
Yes, right.
The
square.
area is what?
10 millimeters.
No,
25 millimeters.
almost, not quite. I'll write down the 25.
But 5 times 5 is 25.
It is, yeah. 5 times 5 is 25.
Oh, no, millimeters squared.
Yeah, there you go. She said millimetres, but it should be square millimetres.
I know, I said you should write the 2 on top of
Yeah, but I wanted to put. Yes.
Can you say millimeters squared and also squared millimeters?
Yeah, do you know, if it's area, I would say, I know I keep swapping, that's probably where I'm confusing. I would say the best thing you should say is it's square millimetres. Because if we say something squared, it kind of means times it by itself. Which is what we're doing, but actually the unit should be square millimetres, square metres, square, you know, we would say the area of this room is, however, you know, you've probably seen in your apartments, the area of this apartment is 70 square metres, is what you would say, not 70 metres squared. Because 70 metres squared is 70 metres by 70 metres, and you times it together, and so we should say square. Millimetres squared, metres squared, that kind of thing. So actually, that's the area. Alright? In our objective then was also, well, what about perimeter?
Oh! I'm good at this one.
You're good at perimeter. Go on, explain perimeter.
So, let's say that you're, this is how we learned it last year, that you have like, you're in a prison, and there are fences around the prison,
Yeah.
and you have to find out
The perimeter. Like, is it?
You have it. I remember. You have to count all.
find out how many units, like how many square units you can fit in.
It's not square units, but I get.
You like how many millimeters or meters you
Yeah.
can fit in to the fence or the wall,
Yeah.
and then.
See, I would say, I guess the same idea is if you're in a, I don't know about the prison idea, but, you know, if you had to figure out how far it was all the way round the shape. So if you were to put your hand on the fence and walk all the way round, right, you walk round the shape,
Your hand would be dirty.
right, you wear gloves, right, how far would you walk is the question, alright? So in this shape, for instance, the perimeter would be, well, let's say I started here, right, and I walk all the way, and I get back to the beginning. How far would I walk? Well, it'd be 5 plus 5 plus 5,
20.
which is
20.
20 what? Elephants? Bananas?
20 centimeters squared.
No.
Millimeters squared.
No.
Millimeters.
20 millimetres in this case.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be a small
It's not square because it's not area, it's just a length. Alright? So just to highlight those different colours, area, okay, we've got 25 millimetres squared, but perimeter, in this case, is 20 millimetres because perimeter is just a length, okay, whereas area is an area. So it's different. Yes,
The
ma'am.
length of the outside.
If you had cubed, which is a.
Okay. Go on, give me a.
So I've never learned about cube, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
So we used to think square. Would the cube, it'd be using cubes everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So area is area and perimeter are both two-dimensional.
So cool.
So we've got one dimension times another dimension, 2 dimensions.
Okay.
Cube has a little 3 because it's
3 dimensional.
3-dimensional. So, and it'd be used for not area but
Perimeter.
no,
Surface area.
volume. Area is surface area is still area. Volume, it's how much space in the whole room. So it's 3 dimensions. This dimension, that dimension, and
Yes.
This
that
dimension.
up. So left, right, up. So you can talk, right? People do it with their hands. Do that, okay? They're your 2 dimensions.
It's a gun.
You can hold that wherever you like. A gun, right? There's your 2 dimensions. If I want the area of the table, I put my 2 dimensions. That's what I've got to work out. All right? Put it flat on that. Okay?
Oh.
If I want to work out the area of the wall, there's my 2 dimensions. But if I want to work out volume, I do this. Put my other finger out, and I have 3 dimensions. So on a table now, I've got that, but my finger also points down. So they're the 3 dimensions I need to work out. Can I work out the volume of the wall?
Yeah, no.
Because there's no
down.
there's no third
Yeah.
dimension, it's just the area. So
What do you do that?
It's flat.
Well, this
Well,
is
I
on
can't-
the edge.
yeah, so
Like a
actually
whiteboard.
this board has a volume because it's got a bit of a depth.
Yeah.
Okay, but if I wanted to know the area of just this surface that I can write on, there's no third dimension. Okay, so we've got really area and perimeter. Let's just go back to our couple of others. Yeah. What?
Finished.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's a big
5 more minutes. I
There's
know.
bing bong.
I've got 4 minutes. Right. Here you go. We've got some shapes. We said this square had an area of 1 centimetre. What do you reckon the perimeter is?
You just do 8.
4 centimeters square. 4 square centimeters.
No.
4 millimeters.
No.
Um,
You're as close as him.
4 millimeters squared.
No.
no, it's no square meter.
Exactly.
Square.
It's 4
Meters squared.
centimetres.
Oh,
No squared.
come on.
Perimeter. So you've got centimetres. It's 1, 1, 1, 1. What about the perimeter? If the area is 4 centimetres squared, the
8
perimeter is
8 centimeters squared.
so
8
2, 2,
centimetres.
2,
8
2,
centimeters.
8 centimetres. Exactly. Get used. I will mark you down if you put a squared for perimeter.
What?
Matthias, perimeter of this one?
9. No. Yeah, no.
Ah.
No.
Right? 3,
6 centimeters.
3,
Oh,
3. It's
12 centimeters.
12 centimetres, yes. Okay.
30,
This one,
32 centimeters.
8, 8, 8, 8.
32 centimeters.
Exactly. Perimeter is 32 centimetres.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Finish.
Right.
Oh.
So you get the difference between, probably one of the big important things, like I said, is area, centimetre squared, centimetre squared, centimetre squared. You have to get it right. Have to. There's no, oh, it doesn't matter. Area and perimeter, look. The units. Right. So let's just recap. I know we haven't written anything down, but obviously it's, for next time it'll be fine. You can check this. Area. How would you describe area to me? Ryan.
You measure both sides with a unit squared.
It's the surface of a shape.
So it's the surface of a shape, it's the amount of space taken up. How would you calculate it, sorry?
You measure both.
So
right
with a
and
square, squares are easy because it's
left,
what? So you measure the two. You measure the 2 dimensions and you do what?
And then you measure the times it.
Times them. So square, it's just times itself.
And then
Yeah.
the perimeter.
Perimeter.
The length of the outside of the square.
So the distance all the way around the outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't measure it in centimeters squared. You just measure it in centimeters.
Good. I'm glad. So area, the units are. Give me examples of area units.
Area units. So there's
That is
Centimeters squared.
centimetres squared. The
millimeters.
perimeter that goes with centimetre squared would be
Centimeters.
centimetres. Give me another unit area.
Millimeters.
Area.
Oh, millimeters. Square millimeters.
Square millimetres. Then perimeter that goes with that
Millimeters.
in millimetres. Okay. Right. Hang on. So.
It's the movie uploaded.